Hey artists, today we are going to make our recycled art project. The first thing we'll need to do is gather some materials that might otherwise be thrown away. So looking around my home, I found a cardboard box, some magazines, you can also use newspaper, here's a juice bottle, some cans, and some other bottle caps that I found. You can get really creative with this, and looking at these materials actually might spark some creativity on what you want to create. So now that I have all of these recycled materials in front of me, I can start looking through them to decide what I'll use for my project. So I have some caps. I'm going to take the cap off the bottle and use this one as well. Looking at these cans, I don't want to use the whole thing, so I'll pull off the tab by wiggling it back and forth. If you're going to do this, please make sure you're being careful and maybe ask an adult for help, because you can hurt yourself on the inside of the can. And there I have a bunch more of those tabs. So I'll grab my sketchbook and I can start to make a plan for what I want to create. I was really inspired by the orange bottle cap, so I think I'm going to use that in the center of my artwork to make the center of a flower. I think I'm also going to use the tabs to help make some petal-like shapes on the outside. I'm just labeling my artwork so that I know what I want to use when I go to make my artwork later. And behind all of those tabs, I'm going to draw some bigger flower petals that I think I'm going to use that purple cardboard that I have sitting next to my other materials. So after looking through all of my recycled materials, I decided on a plan to create a recycled flower. So make sure to look closely at your recycled items to get inspired and see what you'll create. Now it's time to actually make the flower. The first thing I'm going to do is draw out the flower petals on this box, and then I folded it in half so it would be a little bit of a time saver and cut out 2 petals at a time. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I have enough petals to make a full flower. Now that all my petals are cut out and I have all my materials around me, I can start assembling it to see if I like the creation that I have using what I drew in my sketch. I'm not gluing anything together yet just because I want to see what it looks like. By laying it out first, I can see how things look. Like I changed the way that cap was. I tried it face down and then I flipped it up because I can check without being committed to gluing it down. Once I had it all together, I realized I wanted a little bit more something in there, so I found a blue circle inside of one of the magazines and I decided to put it underneath and see how that changed what it looked like. So I put it under and started to put the tabs back and realized, yep, that's exactly what I want it to look like, so I am good to go. So I'm going to take it all apart and then put it back together again. Now, if you're doing something like this and you don't actually have glue, you can just take a picture of it all assembled and submit that as your project instead of actually setting it all in place. So you friends might start to notice it now. I go down and I glue on my cap next, forgetting all about my magazine pieces. So I'm gluing them down. I start doing all of the tabs around it before I even realize, even though it's sitting right next to me. But because I realized before the glue is dry, it's okay. I can take it all off. I just put it glue side up so that I could redo it, and I just used the glue that was there and still on the caps to stick it down again. So the glue hadn't dried, I was able to fix it, but again, it's helpful to have it in your sketch so you don't forget about a step. The last thing I decided to do to finish up my project was to roll up the ends of the cardboard petals just to give it a little bit more of a 3D look, or to make it look like it's popping off of the table or the wall, wherever I decide to put it when I'm finished. So this is how I created my recycled artwork. I cannot wait to see what you creative artists are going to make.